wording, I would think. So that's why I think it's either a volcano or something man-made or something like that that's going to destroy the sea. Right.
Literally break off the island and fall into the sea.
Right.
What they're describing right there.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my thinking on that. Is it's some type of volcano. All right. But 10 and 11, the third trumpet is a third of the fresh water destroyed. This is going to kill countless people from not just the meteor hitting and flooding the waters and flooding towns and stuff, but people thirsting to death. I'm not sure if that's dying of thirst. That's a better way to put it. Thirsting is probably not a word at all. But nevertheless, all right. Verse 12. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third excuse me. And the third part of the sun was smitten, and a third part of the moon, and a third part of the stars, so as the third part of them were darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. Okay, the fourth trumpet judgment is a third of the light gone. This one's kind of difficult to picture. Okay, we have the sun, and it shines, and you know, unless it's cloudy, the sun's pretty much constant in how it shines. Okay? Imagine it just not as bright. It's kind of difficult to do. But nevertheless, that's what it's going to be. The sun's going to be a third darker, or a third not as bright. I'm not sure the correct way to say that, but that's what it's going to be. The moon, the same way, because the moon is what? A reflection of the sun. So if the sun is darker, the moon's going to be darker. And all of the stars are going to be the same. They're going to be a third dark. And even a third part of the day. Okay, let's say we have a 24-hour day. Let's just say we have 16 hours of daylight. No, that's not right. What's half of 24? 12. 12 hours of daylight. 4 hours of that is now going to be completely dark. And the night, okay, let's think we have 12 hours a night. And I'm just throwing round numbers out there. We still have, what, the moon and the stars at night, unless it's cloudy. You're going to go outside at night, pitch black for 4 hours. That's going to be bad.
Yeah. I was just kind of thinking that if that in verse 8 was like a volcano that erupted throughout the entire earth, that could tie in with that, because the fallout from that darkness.
Right. See, that's kind of where I was going. You're getting a little bit ahead of me, but that's good. No, that's good thinking. Because let's think about this. The volcano, and then the asteroid or the meteor or whatever, what's that going to do? It's going to throw dust up in the air, and it's going to black out. That's why I don't necessarily think that the sun is actually going to be not as bright. It's just going to appear as not as bright.
Getting with all the acid.
You just won't see it.
Right. And that's what for 8 hours a day, it's going to be literally pitch black because of the way the sun's going to rotate, or the way the earth's going to rotate, and the ashes and everything that's going to be in the air is going to keep the sun, or the moonlight, or the starlight for that matter, getting to the face of the earth. Okay? That's kind of hard. That's bad. Okay? Let's look at this. Four trumpet judgments so far. Okay? We have a third of the land gone, or the trees and plants gone, a third of the salt water, a third of the fresh water, a third of the light. Do you see a trend? The four major parts of our planet have been affected. The things that people put their trust in are now affected. Think of people. What do we call them? Tree huggers? Think of the nature people out there that worship the nature or put their trust in nature. That, well, the sun always shines. You ever heard somebody say that? The sun always shines. One day it's not going to shine. See, Say, well, there's always grass, there's always trees, and they always come back. One day it's not going to. Well, the ocean's never going anywhere. According to God's word, it is. You see how God is not only is He punishing them, but He is literally attacking what they believe in and what they put their trust and faith in. He's getting right down to where they're mentally living and physically living. God is trying to show them, hey, He's in charge. He has the power. He's it. We're putting our faith, or people are putting their faith and their trust in His creation. But guess what? He still is in control of His creation. Verse 13. Finish up this chapter. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. What this is saying here is what's to come, or what is about to happen, is even worse than what just happened. Can you imagine how bad? We've just lost pretty much a third of our planet, on top of the quarter of our planet that's already gone. And you're telling me that what we're about to talk about is worse than what we've already talked about? Oh my. I really hope we don't got to be around for that. I really hope so. This is the reason that it's split up. Okay? We have four judgments rather. And then we have 5, 6, and 7 in another chapter. And I thought, why would you split that up like that? Okay, well the reason is because the first 4 trumpet judgments attack the physical earth. Okay? And all of the people still living on the earth, whether it's, all Christians or the converted Jews and backslidden Christians, or whatever the population may be, everybody is going to have to deal with those first 4 trumpet judgments. Okay? The things that we are about to talk about in chapter 9 next week, those judgments are only affect the ones that are not sealed on their forehead. Meaning the ones that aren't born again, the ones that aren't Christians. Okay? So that's why there's the split. Which, after I understood that made a whole lot more sense. So, note it. One more thing. One more thing I want to point out. How many woes do you see there? How many trumpet judgments are left? Coincidence? No. No coincidence with God. That's right. 3 woes, 3 trumpet judgments left. And we'll talk about them next week.